Every year, pickle consumption in the United States reaches staggering levels, more than 9 billion units annually, which is equivalent to roughly 9 kilograms per person. This figure, which at first glance may seem anecdotal, actually reveals the true scale of a massive industry that operates almost invisibly to the consumer. Behind every pickle that accompanies a hamburger, a sandwich, or is eaten straight from the jar, there is a complex agricultural and industrial chain designed to function with millimeter-level precision. To meet this constant demand, vast cultivated areas and state-of-the-art machinery work tirelessly, harvesting millions of fresh cucumbers at the exact moment of peak ripeness. But a natural question arises. How are these freshly harvested fruits transformed into the classic pickles and vinegar we find on supermarket shelves? To answer this, we venture into the heart of a specialized pickling plant and follow, step by step, the entire production process, from the field to the jar. Today, pickles have ceased to be a simple side accompaniment. They have become a snack in their own right and an essential ingredient in some of the most iconic foods of American cuisine, such as hamburgers, hot dogs, and sandwiches. Their success lies in a very specific combination: a sharp, tangy flavor, a perfect balance between saltiness and vinegar, and a firm, crunchy texture that bursts when bitten into. Preserving these characteristics on an industrial scale is no easy task. To put it into perspective, a single U.S. company dedicated exclusively to pickles can produce more than 500 tons of pickles per day, translating into over 500,000 jars daily. These numbers represent a monumental challenge: harvesting, transporting, and processing enormous volumes of fresh cucumbers within an extremely short time frame, as the quality of the final product depends directly on the freshness of the fruit. One of the main epicenters of this production is located in California, particularly in the Central Valley, one of the most productive agricultural regions on the planet. This area offers near-perfect conditions for cucumber cultivation: a Mediterranean climate with mild winters that protect the plants and long, dry, warm summers that promote rapid and uniform growth. The process begins in the field, when the cucumbers reach the ideal size for transformation into pickles, typically between 5 and 10 centimeters in length. This range is no coincidence. A cucumber that is too large loses firmness and develops harder seeds, while one that is too small fails to achieve the desired texture. Choosing the exact moment of harvest is therefore a critical decision that will define the final result. Before harvesting begins, the farmer carefully prepares the harvester, a highly specialized machine that has completely transformed how these crops are handled. Unlike manual harvesting, this system allows enormous areas to be covered in a very short time, an absolute necessity when dealing with such high volumes. The machine is equipped with advanced vibration and separation systems, specifically designed to detach the cucumbers without damaging them. Before starting, the operator conducts test runs on a small section of the field, adjusting key parameters such as forward speed, vibration intensity, cutting height, and the angle of the conveyor belts. Each adjustment is made with extreme precision, as even a minimal error can result in damaged fruit or significant production losses. Once calibrated, the harvester positions itself precisely over the crop rows. Thanks to automatic guidance systems, it advances in a straight, steady line, maintaining perfect alignment at all times. In practice, this machine functions like a true mobile processing plant. Its blades cut the roots and lift the entire plants, which are then fed onto a front conveyor belt. As the vegetation moves upward along the belt, it enters the interior of the harvester, where the most delicate phase of the process begins. At this stage, a set of metal tines and shaking systems comes into action. The vines are agitated in a controlled manner, taking advantage of a fundamental difference: weight. The cucumbers, being heavier than the leaves and stems, detach and fall by gravity, while the lighter plant material is expelled out the back of the machine. Along this path, collector arms come into contact with the vines and move them gently, ensuring that mature fruits are released without harsh impacts. The cucumbers then fall onto a continuous conveyor belt designed with cushioned surfaces to minimize any damage to the skin. The next step is primary cleaning. The cucumbers move toward an integrated system that removes loose leaves, stems, and remaining plant debris. Along the way, a series of rollers and separators progressively sort the material. At this stage, machine speed is critical. If it moves too fast, some cucumbers may be ejected along with the waste. If it moves too slowly, overall efficiency drops sharply, negatively affecting daily productivity. Throughout the entire operation, the operator supervises the process from the cab, alert to any irregularities. They monitor potential blockages, ensure that the vibration systems are functioning correctly, and visually check that the harvested cucumbers meet industry standards for size and quality. Once cleaned, the fruits are directed into a large container integrated into the harvester itself. Electronic sensors continuously measure the fill level and issue alerts when the tank approaches maximum capacity, preventing spills and unnecessary losses. When the container is full, the harvester moves to a transport truck positioned at the edge of the field. Using a hydraulic arm, the cucumbers are transferred quickly, evenly, and in a fully controlled manner. This unloading system has been specifically designed to protect the fruit, reducing impacts and ensuring that the cucumbers arrive in perfect condition for the next stage of the process. After harvesting, time becomes a critical factor. Freshly picked cucumbers begin to deteriorate rapidly if they're not processed immediately, leaving no room for delay. As soon as they leave the field, they are loaded onto large trucks and transported directly to the processing plant, which is often located just a few kilometers from the growing areas to minimize transport time. Upon arrival at the facility, the vehicles enter a high-precision industrial scale, where the exact weight of each load is recorded. This information is used not only for inventory control, but also to calculate yields, payments to farmers, and daily production planning. At the same time, administrative and technical staff review the documentation for each batch, verifying its origin, harvest date, and that the cucumbers meet the industry's required standards for quality, size, and freshness. Only after all these initial checks are completed is the load cleared to move forward. Once this first stage is completed, the cucumbers are unloaded into enormous receiving hoppers using hydraulic systems designed to handle tons of product continuously. These hoppers serve as the entry point to the production line. Their sloped design and smooth surfaces allow the fruits to move gently, preventing impacts or crushing that could affect their texture. During this initial unloading, a quick but essential visual inspection is carried out. Experienced workers observe the flow of cucumbers and identify those with obvious damage, signs of contamination, severe deformities, or sizes outside the established parameters. These fruits are removed immediately to ensure that only the highest quality product continues through the process. Next, the cucumbers move to a fully automated washing system, one of the most important stages for ensuring food safety. At this point, the fruits are subjected to powerful high-pressure water jets that remove soil, dust, and residues acquired during harvesting. At the same time, rotating brushes of varying stiffness move around the cucumbers, reaching even the most difficult-to-clean areas without damaging the skin. The water used typically passes through filtration and recirculation systems, helping maintain hygiene while reducing consumption. Along the conveyor belts that follow the washing stage, trained workers perform an additional manual selection, removing cucumbers that, despite washing, still show visible defects, such as spots, cuts, or deformities. Once cleaned and selected, the cucumbers enter high-precision grading machines. These systems use adjustable rollers and sensors to separate the fruits by size and, in some cases, by weight. Grading is essential, as the size of the cucumber determines its final destination: whole pickles, slices, chips, or specialty presentations. Meanwhile, in a parallel section of the plant, the pickling liquid is prepared, a carefully formulated mixture of vinegar, water, salt, and a selection of spices that will add aroma and complexity to the product. Each company closely guards its exact proportions, as this formula largely defines the characteristic flavor of its pickles. From a hopper, the grated cucumbers are discharged into large fermentation tanks filled with brine. This saline solution serves a dual purpose. It acts as a natural preservative and creates the appropriate environment for fermentation to begin. The tanks are kept at a controlled temperature and, in many cases, covered to prevent oxygen from entering. Over the following weeks, beneficial bacteria naturally convert the sugars present in the cucumbers into lactic acid, the compound responsible for the tangy and characteristic flavor of traditional pickles. This process is not immediate. Fermentation develops slowly and under controlled conditions to ensure uniform flavor and a firm texture. After approximately 3 months submerged in brine, the cucumbers have been completely transformed. They're no longer simple fresh produce, but fully fermented pickles. However, this long period results in an extremely high salt concentration, which can be up to 4 times saltier than seawater. To correct this excess, the pickles undergo a desalting stage using hot water. This treatment helps extract the salt gradually without affecting the structure of the product. At this same point in the process, powdered turmeric is added, a spice obtained from a root similar to ginger. Although it does not alter the flavor, turmeric is responsible for giving pickles their characteristic yellowish hue, which consumers immediately associate with pickles and vinegar. The water in the tanks is drained and replaced with clean water several times. This rinsing cycle lasts approximately 24 hours until the salt concentration is reduced to safe and palatable levels for consumption, around 2%. Once this balance is achieved, the pickles pass through automated sorting systems equipped with optical sensors. These machines detect pronounced deformities, dark spots, or surface irregularities, and automatically discard any units that do not meet visual and structural standards. The accepted pickles then move on to the crinkle-cut slicing stage, one of the most recognizable parts of the process. A specialized machine carefully aligns the whole pickles before slicing. Inside, high-precision wavy blades create uniform slices, forming deep, regular ridges on each piece. This ridged pattern is not merely aesthetic. It increases the surface area in contact with the pickling liquid and enhances texture when bitten. Operators can adjust the equipment to modify slice thickness and wave depth depending on the final product. The slices fall onto conveyor belts that continuously carry them to the next stage. Simultaneously, another line in the plant prepares the glass jars intended for packaging. The pickle slices arrive at a fully automated filling line where they are precisely portioned and placed into each container. An operator performs a final adjustment, lightly compacting the slices to optimize space and ensure a uniform presentation. Next, hot pickling liquid, a mixture of vinegar and brine, is added until the contents are completely covered, ensuring preservation and product stability. The jars then pass through high-speed capping machines. Just before the lid is applied, a nozzle injects a brief burst of steam into the interior. This step is crucial. Once the jar is sealed and the steam cools, a vacuum forms beneath the lid. This vacuum is responsible for the characteristic pop sound that assures consumers the jar has not been previously opened. After sealing, the containers pass through sensors that detect trapped air beneath the lids. If any jar fails this inspection, a robotic arm automatically removes it from the line. Properly sealed jars continue on to pasteurization tunnels, where they are exposed to temperatures above 100 degrees Celsius for a carefully calculated period. This heat treatment eliminates potentially harmful microorganisms and ensures the product remains stable over long storage periods. Once pasteurized, the jars are rapidly cooled using water cooling systems, which halt the thermal process and help preserve the firm, crunchy texture of the pickles. After cooling, they proceed to the packaging area, where automated labeling lines apply all required information: brand, ingredient list, net weight, batch number, and expiration date. Finally, the finished pickles are stored in temperature-controlled warehouses ready for distribution. The jars are grouped into boxes or trays, palletized, and prepared for shipment to supermarkets and distribution centers nationwide. Thanks to this meticulous and highly controlled industrial process, pickles and vinegar reach consumers with an intense flavor, a crisp texture, and consistent quality, capable of remaining in optimal condition for at least 2 years without losing their essential characteristics.